If you think protein is just about muscle, you're missing a much deeper layer, because every protein source you eat doesn't just build tissue, it shapes immune signaling, especially pathways like IFNY and NKG2D receptors on NK cells. So today we're breaking down the 8 highest protein foods that also carry distinct biochemical advantages, not just for muscle, but for immune system tuning, recovery, and metabolic performance. So the first is why IFNY matters, the hidden immune layer behind protein. Before food, you need context. IFNY, which is short for interferon gamma, is one of the most important immune signaling molecules in your body. It activates NK cells and macrophages, enhances killing of infected or abnormal cells, and increases expression of NKG2D ligands, which act like stress flags on unhealthy cells, and strengthens Th1 immune responses. Protein intake, such as amino acids, fats, and ketones, all modulate IFNY, signaling indirectly through immune and metabolic pathways. Amino acids like leucine and whey support immune cell proliferation. Dietary fats, such as saturated and monounsaturated, influence membrane signaling domains where immune receptors cluster. And NK cells rely on IFNY signaling. Now let's connect that directly to food. So the first food is lean poultry, such as chicken and turkey. Lean poultry is one of the cleanest protein sources for weight loss and metabolic control. Now, why is that? Because low fat equals easy calorie control. High protein supports lean mass retention, rich in B vitamins, especially niacin. Niacin supports NAD production, which is essential in every cell. Without it, you're not surviving more than seconds. Now, here's the immune link. Adequate protein supports IFNY production capacity in immune cells, helps NK cells maintain energy demanding cytotoxic activity. So, lean poultry is not just diet food, it's metabolic and immune fuel stability. Second food is mutton or lamb. Now we move deeper. Lamb has a unique fat profile, mostly saturated and monounsaturated fats, relatively stable fats, and potential support for insulin sensitivity and metabolic signaling. But the standout compound is conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA. Studies from Nutrition Journal show CLA is associated with increased fat loss, potentially by enhancing fatty acid transport into cells and supporting fat oxidation gene expression. Fat composition influences membrane lipid rafts, where immune receptors cluster, and signaling for cytokines like IFNY. So lamb doesn't just affect fat metabolism, it subtly influences immune cell signaling environments, including NK cell responsiveness. Food number 3 is lean beef. Especially for aging and muscle retention, lean beef is extremely nutrient dense, high in B12, high in creatine, supports energy metabolism. A key study in Endocrine Journal found that creatine plus resistance training led to resistance training alone for preventing sarcopenia. Now, why that matters? Muscle loss is one of the strongest predictors of metabolic decline. Also, B12 in lean beef helps reduce homocysteine, a cardiovascular risk factor. Healthy metabolic state supports balanced IFNY signaling. Tissue itself acts as an immune active endocrine organ, so beef supports muscle preservation, immune resilience, and metabolic stability. Protein food number 4, which I've done already before, is venison. I have a venison anti-cancer powerhouse video, so if you haven't seen that one, feel free to check that one out. So venison is one of the most underrated protein sources. Why? Because extremely lean compared to beef, high in B12, one of the richest land-based sources of zinc. Now, zinc is great to bind cadmium, because a cadmium is a class 1 carcinogen. So carcinogen is another word for cancerous or cancer-causing. So venison is an anti-cancer food. Zinc is also required for NK cell development, critical for immune signaling enzymes, supports cytokine regulation including IFNY pathways. Without zinc, immune dysfunction and poor NK cell performance. So venison is essentially immune activation protein plus muscle support plus micronutrient density. Protein food number 5 is eggs for brain and immune signaling bridge. Eggs are arguably the most complete neurological protein source. They contain saturated fats to support myelin, cholesterol as a hormone precursor, and most importantly, choline. Choline is a precursor to acetylcholine required for neural signaling. Now, according to the British Journal of Nutrition, there was a study of 2,195 participants aged 70 to 74. Higher choline intake led to better cognition and memory. Lower choline led to cognitive decline. Now, there is an immune connection here. Neural immune interface affects cytokine signaling. IFNY influences brain immune communication, and NK cells interact with systemic inflammatory signaling. Eggs sit at the intersection of brain function plus immune regulation plus metabolic signaling. So there is a connection between the brain and the immune system. The brain actually interacts with and communicates with the immune system. Protein source number 6, whey protein for muscle and immune recovery. Whey is extremely fast absorbing. Key features: highly insulinogenic, rich in leucine, activates mTOR for protein synthesis, strong anabolic effect, and here's the immune layer. An anti-cancer research study, whey is a source of cysteine. Cysteine is required for glutathione synthesis. Glutathione is a master antioxidant system, so whey supports immune recovery, oxidative stress control, and cellular detox balance. Immune activation, like IFNY signaling, increases oxidative stress, so glutathione buffers that stress. NK cells depend on redox balance for cytotoxic function. So this means that if glutathione is deficient, your immune system could work against you when there is immune activation, such as through IFNY, since immune activation increases oxidative stress. But if the immune system doesn't activate, then there's cancer risk. So that's why it's important to keep your glutathione levels high, such as with whey protein and vitamin B12, so that your immune system can protect you but without damaging or harming you at the same time. So whey is not just a muscle fuel, it's immune repair fuel. Protein source 7 is pumpkin seed protein plus hemp seeds. For plant-based protein, the hemp seeds are one of the only complete plant proteins. Contains all essential amino acids. Now that's great for the immune system because the immune cells, they do use amino acids as an energy source or an energy substrate. That's especially important if, like let's say on a keto diet, you got no glucose as a fuel source for T cells. That's where the immune system can use amino acids instead. Also, if there is no fat coming in either. And then pumpkin seeds, 30% protein by weight and extremely mineral dense. And a study in biology of trace science improved glucose, insulin, and metabolic markers even in high fructose conditions. Now, why this matters immunologically is stable glucose means stable immune signaling. Zinc plus magnesium, NK cell function support, and metabolic stability influences IFNY balance. So plant proteins here support metabolic immunity, plus cytokine regulation and oxidative stability. And protein source number 8 is Greek yogurt or kefir. For gut immune axis, gut health is immune health. Fermented dairy supports microbiome diversity, improves gut barrier integrity. Raw versions preserve more live bacteria compared to pasteurized forms. 70% of immune system activity is gut associated. Gut microbes regulate IFNY production balance, meaning that microbiome signals influence NK cell readiness. So this is gut immune system cytokine regulation loop so that the NK cells are ready to fight cancer. And an honorable mention is shellfish. Shellfish are extremely high in protein, extremely high in minerals, highly bioavailable nutrient source. Also high in zinc to bind cadmium, selenium, and trace minerals essential for immune enzymes. So zinc supports NK cell activation, selenium supports antioxidant enzymes. Both influence cytokine balance, including IFNY signaling. And to close off the video, dietary fats, such as saturated and monounsaturated fats, influence membrane signaling, including immune receptors, including NK-related receptors, and this affects how cells respond to IFNY signals. So proteins plus fats plus ketones together shape NK cell activity, NKG2D ligand recognition efficiency, which is on the NK cell, and IFNY signaling strength. So these foods aren't just high protein, they are immune modulators and metabolic regulators. So that's it for the video. Keep it locked in here on this channel, and I'll see you next time.